I drove 400 miles through a snowstorm to bring my sister her favorite cake. No one said thank you. No one said hello. In fact, they didn't even put my name on the guest list. I wasn't late. I wasn't unwanted. I was erased. My name is Amelia Collins. I'm 31, tucked away in a Chicago apartment where my bookshelves groan under stories I love more than most people. My heart, worn but stubborn, still believes effort can mend what time has torn. That morning, I woke before dawn, the sky a bruised gray heavy with snow. My thoughts churned, nervous, hopeful, raw, as I layered my clothes, wrapped my scarf, and stepped into the winter cold, carrying one fragile purpose: to reach Vermont for my sister Lily's engagement party. The cake rested on the passenger seat like a sacred vow. 2 tiers of red velvet, cream cheese frosting, sugar roses curling around the base. I'd ordered it fresh, rushed, costly, perfect. It wasn't just dessert. It was 2005. Lily and I sprawled on our bedroom floor, a clunky TV blaring wedding shows, giggling over dream cakes. Red velvet with roses, she teased, nudging me. Your masterpiece, Amelia. She was my shadow then, my confidant. I believed this cake could pull us back. I started the engine at 6 a.m., the dashboard clock glowing. The GPS swore 8 hours, but the snow mocked that, swirling across the road. I gripped the wheel, whispering with every icy mile, "This is for Lily. For us." The drive was a war against the storm. Snow buried the windshield, forcing me to stop twice to scrape it clean, my gloves soaked, my breath fogging. My fingers ached, but a memory warmed me. Mom's kitchen in 1999, her chipped ceramic mixing bowl gleaming under fluorescent light. "A cake tells a story," she'd said, guiding my hands through Christmas cookie batter. That bowl, that lesson, drove me forward. At an Ohio gas station, I changed into heels in a grimy restroom, balancing on paper towels. The cashier, an older woman with silver hair, noticed the cake. "That's beautiful," she said, her voice a hearth. "They're lucky to have you." Her words settled like a quilt, easing the cold. I tuned the radio to an AM station crackling with Johnny Cash's Ring of Fire. Dad hummed it in the 90s, tinkering in our garage, Lily and I stealing his Navy stories. I sang along, the melody stitching me to summers when family felt eternal. In Pennsylvania, the snow thickened into a whiteout. My heart pounded as the car skidded, but I steadied it, checking the cake. Still perfect. I touched the box, whispering, "We're almost there." The Vermont estate emerged like a mirage. Trees draped in white lights lined the snowy driveway, the house glowing golden. For one moment, I believed I was arriving home. I handed my keys to a valet who asked, "Catering?" I shook my head, exhaustion mingling with pride. "No, I'm the bride's sister." Inside, the house shimmered, candles flickering, champagne flutes clinking, shoes gliding across marble. Music wove through the air. But no one greeted me. No one said, "You made it." I moved through the crowd, clutching the cake, each step heavier as I slid past. Then I saw Lily. Ivory satin dress, curls framing her face, laughter in her eyes, until they met mine. Her smile collapsed. "You actually came?" she said, her voice sharp, cracking something delicate. I forced a smile, my voice light despite the ache. "Of course. Thought I'd surprise you." She didn't reach for the cake. Didn't step closer. She stared like I'd wandered into the wrong story. "I didn't think you'd come with the weather," she said, flat, final. I set the cake beside macarons, its roses gleaming. I waited, hoping she'd see the memory I'd carried through the storm. She didn't. A bridesmaid whispered, slicing, "She's not even on the guest list, right?" The words landed like a stone. I wasn't a surprise. I was a mistake. The cake sat untouched, its warmth fading among macarons and eclairs. No one glanced at it. No one asked. Lily drifted away, her laughter a ghost, leaving me rooted. The snow clung to my coat, but the cold in my heart was sharper. This wasn't disappointment. It was erasure. Guests floated past, their silk scarves and laughter brushing by like I was invisible. I smiled at a woman from Lily's college photos, hoping for warmth. She turned away, dismissing me. I stepped deeper into the room, waiting for someone to see me. Lily, Mom, anyone. Nothing. Just music. Just candles. Just silence. I wandered to the reception table, where the guest list lay like a verdict. My hands trembled as I traced the names. Amelia Collins was nowhere. A staff member approached, her smile strained. "Can I help you?" "I'm the bride's sister," I said, pointing. "There's a mistake." She scanned the list, her face softening into pity. "Amelia Collins. I'm sorry. Maybe a last-minute guest." "I'm not a guest," I whispered, my voice breaking. "I'm family." She nodded and walked away, leaving me with absence. I lingered, my heels sinking into the floor, my coat damp. I wasn't just missing from the guest list. I was missing from their future, like I'd quietly expired in their memories. I searched for Mom, clinging to hope, an error, a misunderstanding. I found her by the fireplace, radiant in velvet red, laughing with friends. Her warmth filled the room, but when she saw me, her face tightened. "Amelia," she said, stepping away like containing a spill. "You actually came." Her words stung cold as snow. "I messaged last week," I said, voice steady. No one replied. I thought. "Let's not complicate things," she cut in, eyes flicking to guests. "Today is Lily's day. Don't draw attention." Attention? My voice wavered. "Mom, did you ever think I was good enough to be invited?" She froze, lips parting, but no answer came. "You know what I mean," she said finally, sharp. "You always make things dramatic." Dramatic? I was a ghost. "I brought the cake," I said softer. "The one Lily loved. I thought it'd mean something." She looked at me like I'd offered a wilted flower. "Kindness is about timing," she said coldly. This wasn't it. Her words carved into me, hollowing out hope. I turned from Mom, my chest tight. A memory hit. Christmas 2008. Our dining room aglow with candles, everyone toasting, their voices warm. I sat at the table's edge, clutching my glass, but Mom glanced at me. "Why are you always so quiet, Amelia?" That same year, I wasn't chosen as a bridesmaid for my cousin's wedding, though Lily stood at the altar, radiant. I'd smiled, hiding the sting, but it was the first time I felt myself fading from the family story. I wandered back to the dessert table, the cake untouched, its roses gleaming under the chandelier. Maybe that's the hardest part, realizing your family stopped counting you in long before you noticed. I stood there, alone, the weight of the drive pressing into me. If you've ever stood in a room where no one saw you, this is your story too. I lingered by the dessert table, the cake's roses mocking my hope. My mind churned with memories of trying to reach Lily. 3 years ago, I'd sent her a hand-knitted scarf for her birthday, hoping she'd call. The package returned, unopened, with recipient declined, stamped in red. Last summer, I'd written her a letter, pouring out my longing to reconnect. No reply, just silence. I'd always thought one more gesture, one more effort, would bring her back. But standing here, I felt a shift. I wasn't just missing from their guest list. I was missing from their future. My old fear whispered, "If I speak, will anyone believe me?" I'd spent years swallowing my voice, terrified of being called dramatic. But another thought rose, stronger. I don't need their acceptance anymore. I need their respect. I couldn't stay silent. I walked to the reception table, my hands shaking as I picked up the guest list. The room buzzed with laughter, but a fire built inside me. I tapped a champagne flute with a spoon, the chime cutting through the noise. The crowd stilled. Eyes turned to me. "My name is Amelia Collins," I said, my voice steady despite my pounding heart. "I'm Lily's sister. I drove 400 miles through a blizzard to bring a cake, a memory from when we were sisters, not strangers. But my name isn't on this list." Murmurs rippled. Lily's face paled. Mom's eyes narrowed. I held up my phone. "I heard you, Lily. Behind that kitchen door. You said I didn't fit your image. That you left me off for a reason." I pressed play. Her voice echoed. She doesn't fit the image. Having her in the photos would have been awkward.
Gasps.
Whispers. Lily's hand flew to her mouth. I turned to Mom. And you, Mom. You said I was dramatic, but you never asked why I came. Why I tried. Mom's lips parted, silent. I didn't come to ruin your night, I said, my voice breaking. I came because I thought love could matter. But you made me a stranger. And I deserve better. Aunt Martha's eyes glistened. A few guests nodded, their faces soft with understanding. I set the guest list down, my hands steady. I'm done begging to be seen. I walked to the cake, lifted the box, and placed it in Lily's hands. This was for you, I said. But I'm keeping my heart for myself. Lily's eyes filled with tears, but she said nothing. I turned, my heels clicking, and walked out into the snow. The house glowed behind me, warm and bright. I stood in the cold, my breath clouding, and looked back one last time. Then I turned away, my steps sure, my heart heavy but free. If you've ever spoken your truth and walked away, this moment is yours. I'd gone to that hallway earlier, drawn by instinct or the ache of knowing something was wrong. I'd slipped behind the kitchen, where the air smelled of untouched food and fading laughter. No chandeliers, just silver trays and dim lights. Then I heard it. Laughter. Familiar. Pull. My breath caught. My hands trembled. The door was cracked, just enough for truth to spill out. Lily's voice cut through. I can't believe she drove all the way here. Hannah, a bridesmaid. A whole road trip for a cake that looks like a clearance bin reject? My stomach twisted. My nails dug into my palms. Cold crept up my spine. That cake, Lily said, annoyance dripping, was her way of forcing herself in. If she hadn't come, everything would have been perfect. Silence. Claire, mockingly. Maybe she'd have spun out on the road. Then we could have been sad and had peace. Laughter erupted. Not soft. Not hesitant. The kind that breaks you. My legs shook. My throat burned. My heart pounded, so loud I thought they'd hear. Lily's voice dropped. She doesn't fit the image. I left her off the guest list for a reason. Having her in the photos would have been awkward. Just look at her. Look at her? I'd changed in a gas station, hands shaking. I'd scraped ice off my windshield until my fingers bled. I'd driven through a blizzard for a memory, believing love mattered. And this? A sister I'd shielded from bullies. Friends I'd shared secrets with. Not one said, "That's too far." But then, Aunt Martha's voice, soft but firm. "That's enough. She's still your sister." The laughter died. My eyes stung, tears threatening. Aunt Martha's words were a lifeline. I stepped back, chest heaving, cold air biting my skin. I moved past trays of cold food, back to the reception room, the music now poisoned. I sank into the coat room, surrounded by velvet hangers and bridesmaid gifts, 10 boxes with pink ribbons, names in gold. None mine. A memory hit. Lily and I, 10 and 12, sneaking into Mom's kitchen to bake cookies, flour on our noses, Dad's laughter ringing. "You two are trouble," he'd said, eyes sparkling. Where had that gone? My phone buzzed. Mrs. Helen, my neighbor, who'd knitted me a scarf. "You okay, sweetheart? That cake was your heart." Her words wrapped around me, a reminder someone saw me. I looked in a mirror, eyes puffy, coat damp. I saw a woman who'd given everything, not for approval, but for truth. Maybe that's the hardest part, realizing you're stronger than their silence. In the coat room, their laughter echoed, a cruel melody I couldn't silence. For years, I'd made excuses. Too busy, too stressed. No more. They'd chosen this, and I'd let myself believe I was the problem. I opened my phone's camera. Click. The cake, roses untouched, condensation like tears. Click. The snowy driveway, my tire marks carving through white, proof of my journey. Click. A selfie in the car, eyes puffy, holding the cake like it mattered. Because it did. To me. I saved the photos in a folder. The truth. I screenshot the group chat. Caroline's dream team. Lily. She doesn't fit the image. Claire. Maybe she'll spin out. Every barb, preserved. I open my email. To Mom, Linda Collins, Aunt Martha, Lily Collins. Subject. The wedding cake. Attached are 3 photos. 1. The sealed cake I brought. 2. The snow-covered driveway. 3. The receipt, paid in full. No need for thanks. I just want you to see what no one saw. Amelia. I hit send, pulse racing, hands steady. Mom replied in minutes. Amelia, this isn't helping. You're making it dramatic. I didn't answer. I opened another email. To PR Department, Lockridge Financial. Subject. Information relevant to company image. 2 attachments. 1. A screenshot of Mom calling me unstable, Lily saying I made everything a tragedy. 2. A voice memo from the kitchen door. Their laughter, their cruelty. I didn't explain. I sent it. My hands shook, not from fear, but from fire. I didn't share this to ruin them. I shared it so I wouldn't ruin myself in silence. A memory surfaced, a 1998 picnic, Lily and I racing through grass, Dad's laughter as Mom set out her apple pie. Family sticks together, she'd said. I believed her. Now, I saw my own strength, forged in the miles I'd driven, the love I'd carried. Hours later, my phone buzzed. An anonymous text. We've seen what you shared at Lockridge. You did the right thing. My heart raced. I hadn't expected this. I wondered if I'd gone too far, if my truth would burn bridges I couldn't rebuild. But then I realized, speaking up isn't revenge, it's clarity. I wasn't destroying their world. I was reclaiming mine. Another buzz. Lindsay, Lockridge PR. Thank you for sharing. We're reviewing and will proceed per policy. It was more than my family gave. It was enough. Aunt Martha's brunch invitation came. Kurt. Brunch Sunday, 10 a.m., usual place. Come if you can. Damage control, the family's ritual of smoothing cracks with mimosas. I went, arriving late, letting their eyes lift, wondering if I'd speak or swallow the hurt. Caroline sat at the table center, her mimosa trembling, fatigue beneath her makeup. Ethan was absent, a silent absence. Mom offered a tight smile as I sat by wilting tulips, the air thick. Coffee scented the room, mingling with pastries. I remembered 90s brunches, Mom's pancakes high, Dad reading the paper, Lily and I kicking each other under the table. Another lifetime. Caroline spoke, syrupy. This week was emotional. We've learned how strong family is. Heads nodded, puppets on strings. I sipped water, set the glass down, and met their eyes. I have something to say. Caroline's smile flickered. Amelia. Today isn't. It won't take long. I played the audio. Lily's voice. She doesn't fit the image. Claire. Maybe she'll spin out. Laughter. The room gasped. A glass tipped, spilling juice. My heart pounded, but my hands were steady. I paused it. That's what I heard behind the kitchen door, while holding the cake I made for my sister. Caroline paled. Mom's fork clattered. Aunt Martha covered her mouth. I'm not here to scream, I said, voice calm despite the ache. I needed you to hear what I've carried but never said. I looked at Mom. You called me unstable, said I was dramatic, but you never asked why I left. To Caroline, you didn't forget me. You erased me. And now you want it to be a misunderstanding. Caroline opened her mouth, silent. I stood, folding my napkin. I'm not here for apologies. I'm here so you hear yourselves. So you remember I didn't imagine it. I turned, heels clicking. Aunt Martha followed, her hand gentle. You spoke for more than yourself, Amelia, she whispered. You reminded us what truth sounds like. I nodded, stepping into the morning sun. The sky was piercing blue, almost too bright. I looked anyway. I hadn't come to destroy. I'd come to stand in my truth. And I walked away with dignity. Days later, Mrs. Helen, my neighbor, left a voicemail. Amelia, I saw your post about the cake. Come for tea. I've got something for you. Her voice, warm, was a lifeline. I visited her apartment a haven of cinnamon and old books. She handed me a velvet box. Inside, a silver locket, a rose engraved, gleaming. It was my mother's, she said, eyes soft. In 1965, she gave it to me when I stood up to my husband's family. They didn't want me, said I wasn't refined enough for their Christmas party. I clutched it, tears welling. Her story mirrored mine, a bridge across generations. I brought a tray of cookies to their party once, she continued, her voice steady but heavy. No one touched them. I went home empty-handed, but I learned to stand tall. You're learning that too. Her words landed deep, a mirror to my pain. This unexpected gift was family beyond blood. I hugged her, her frail frame strong with wisdom.
She poured tea.
Share story, Amelia, she urged. The community center needs a baking teacher. You'd be a natural. I smiled, hope sparking. I will. A text came from Sarah, an old friend. Heard about Vermont. You're stronger than you know. Her words, unexpected, warmed me, proof my truth was reaching further. Sometimes, the deepest wounds come from the silence of those we love. My journey, through snow, betrayal, and truth, taught me love doesn't always earn a seat at the table. But our worth isn't in others' eyes. It's in our courage to speak, to walk away, to choose peace. I think of Dad carving a wooden bird in 1997, saying, "You don't need to fly for everyone, just yourself." I didn't understand then. I do now. If you've given your heart and been turned away, this is your story too. Your truth is power. Your voice matters. It's never too late to claim it. I teach at the community center, kneading dough with kids who laugh as flour dusts their faces. One day, Mia hugged me, her arms tight. "I wish you were my sister," she whispered. That moment healed something I didn't know was broken. Later, I found an old photo of Lily and me, 6 and 8, grinning in Mom's kitchen, flour on our cheeks. I wrote on the back, "We were sisters once, but I choose myself now." For my 32nd birthday, I sent myself a card. "Happy birthday, Amelia." You didn't need their permission to be whole. I tucked it in my drawer, a quiet ritual of healing. I baked a cake that day. Red velvet, cream cheese frosting, 1 sugar rose. I lit a candle, wished, and cut the first slice. Not for Lily or Mom, but for me, for the woman who drove through a storm, stood up and kept going. I came through the storm to find family. I left with someone worth more, myself. I'm sharing my story because there's light beyond the storm. If it speaks to you, follow my journey. Let's find that light together. Because I'm not just Amelia, the overlooked sister. I'm Amelia, the one who showed up. And I'm finally free.